Has your income ever taken a hit? You know, did you blame the economy? Did you blame the boss? I don't know if you're aware of this, but everybody's income. This happens to everybody. But I remember when I was really young, for some reason, I thought that every time that you climbed an income bracket, that somehow you were supposed to stay there, right? Like once you take this ground, you're going to keep that ground, you're going to stay there, and it's never ever going to be less than that. I don't know why I thought that, but I did, and I think initially because when we first entered the workplace, right, I was a babysitter, $1 an hour, right, and so then I went from that to making $3.35 an hour. It's like yes, so it's almost like once I passed that, it's almost like growing in your age, right? Okay, I'm not 13 anymore. I'm now 15. I never am going back to 13. So somehow I had the same kind of picture in my head about money. That, okay, when I went from $1 an hour to $3.35 an hour, I was never going to go back down to $1 an hour. And then I got up to $3.55 an hour. And then I got up to $3.75 an hour. Woo! And thinking I would never come back down to $3.35 an hour. Then I got it up to, I made $50,000 in 6 months, my first business that I started when I was 19. That was, of course, after 6 months of total failure. I didn't know what I was doing. But then my first wake-up call was what? I lost it. My business had been embezzled, and that next 6 months, I ended up homeless. Yeah, with $2.03 to my name, no income, and a $35,000 debt with my home, which was my car, Hyundai, my little gray Hyundai, that, somebody was searching for because I wasn't making payments on it. Thank God I was really far away. I was all the way in Hawaii. But I bought my car in Sacramento, California. So anyway, the bottom line is that for some reason we get in our head that once we reach a certain income bracket, we think that we're going to always maintain that ground, and we think we're only going to grow that ground. The fact is, that's not the case. In fact, check this out. Nearly 100% of businesses have peaks and valleys. Okay, anywhere between 10 and 20 million Americans are laid off every single year. That's according to The Atlantic. More than 1 in 4 of the working 20-year-olds, okay, that's 25% of 20-year-olds, can expect to be out of work at least one time in their lifetime due to medical reasons. So here's the facts. You better prepare yourself, especially if you are a millennial. So we've asked our audience, when your income has taken a hit, whether that's your business or your income, or you've been laid off, or your spouse has been laid off, when your income, the household income, has taken a hit, how did you handle it? What did you do? And or did you learn from it? What did you learn from it? And how are you going to protect yourself from the next time it takes a hit? Because it does. Listen, I've been in the workforce for, I don't want to tell you, 33 years. No, 34 years. I've been working for gosh, it's so disgusting. I've been working for 34 years. My income's gone like this. Okay, now here's the cool thing is that once you learn some really good financial skills, guess what happens? So it's like, okay, but then watch. As you learn to invest, as you learn to not be the borrower anymore, as you learn to not put yourself in debt, but you choose to live a debt-free life, guess what? Now as your income grows, and if it comes down, it never comes back down to this low place. The people who go from wow to nothing, those people haven't learned the financial lessons that they are supposed to be learning. So let's talk about that. We've got Lisa from South Dakota. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Danny.
So has your income ever taken a hit?
It has.
Yeah. Sucks when that happens.
I know. Back in 2006, so 12 years ago, I was laid off with absolutely no notice.
Wait, did you even have did you have a hint at all that you were going to be laid off? Were there layoffs happening inside the company?
No, none at all. Complete shock.
Okay, so hold on. Let me ask you another question. Was there, what kind of a company was it?
I was in a marketing position for a travel agency.
Okay, now let me ask you. You as the marketing person, wouldn't you have been privy to seeing what was going on in the market and noticing that there was a downtrend for travel agencies in 2006?
In this case, not necessarily.
You didn't see a difference in the responses from the advertising efforts that you were doing?
No, we really didn't. It was more a company had come in to buy us, and they were looking to shift their marketing efforts
Gotcha.
to their home office.
Did you know that the company was for sale?
Yes.
Well, then there was your first hint, honey. This was a merger and acquisition. Do you know what? Now you know what happens in mergers and acquisitions.
Yes.
Now you know. That was your first hint. If the company was for sale and it was going to be bought by somebody else, that was right there, your big giant clue that, hey, we all might lose our jobs.
Right.
Yeah. So wait, let's just pause right there, because there's somebody that's watching this right now who thinks their job is totally secure and not even realizing. In fact, I think it's important for all employees to ask the question, like, hey, what's the future? What's the future plan of this business, especially corporations, right? Not little mom and pop shop. Well, you probably should ask that question too. Usually they don't have an answer for that. But corporations, they know what they're doing. Meaning some corporations are built to only be sold. They build it just to sell it. Do you understand? Others might build it to get it to a point where they're going to hand it over to their children. Other businesses, they want to set it up to where a board is going to manage it long after they're dead. And there's various other different things too, but I think it's really important, and especially with you, Lisa, that, wow, I didn't even realize, the company's for sale. That means your job was absolutely in jeopardy. And so it's good to know, like, wait, is this business going to be sold one day? What's the plan? What's the legacy plan of our company? And that's an important question to ask so that you know what to plan for.
Yes.
So keep going.
So at that time, I had a mortgage, I had a car payment, and just my regular bills. And I was 25. I had no money saved up, living paycheck to paycheck.
How much were you making?
At that time, I believe it was about $30,000 annually.
$30,000 annually. Where were you living?
In South Dakota.
And you were a single person?
Yes.
With a mortgage?
Mm-hmm.
And a car payment?
Mm-hmm.
And living above your means?
Yes.
What did you learn? What did you learn from that?
I learned after I went into $16,000 worth of credit card debt. I just put everything on credit cards.
Wow.
And it got to the point of where I obviously had no income coming in other than unemployment, which wasn't a lot. And I had 5 credit card payments due and a mortgage payment due and a car payment due, and I had $16.
Wow. Okay, hold on, Lisa. I got to ask you this question. Are you at all familiar with the Bible?
Yes.
Okay. So do you know that in Proverbs it says to not be the borrower, but to be the lender?
Yes.
Do you see why right now it says that?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why.
Because I was a slave to the credit card company.
Exactly. What caused you to get all these credit cards? You're making $30,000 a year. You have a good job. Like, what a blessing you were able to get a house. Mm-hmm. Why finance a car and have 5 credit cards?
The credit cards really came after I lost my job. I would just get credit card offers in the mail, and I would open one and max that one out, and then get another offer, open that one, max that one out.
Ugh. Awful. Okay, so how did you fix the problem, girl?
Honestly, I had to ask some family for help to get me out of it in the short term. But then I did eventually get it all paid off in about 5 years time frame, and then subsequently closed all of those accounts.
Good job, Mama. That was really, really wise. Okay, so the moral of this story is do not get a bunch of credit cards and don't finance a car. Man, a good job. And the other thing is look for the warning signs. No income is secure. I talked to a lady yesterday who thought, okay, well, now I'm in business for myself, so I will never have to deal with losing an income. I'll never have to deal with, a bad economy. And I'm like, girlfriend, you are such a wet behind the ear entrepreneur. You're about to learn a harsh lesson. All businesses are subject to being closed down. In fact, 90% of all businesses fail. And so if any of us think that, oh, my income is never going to fluctuate, we're stupid if we think that. And so you learned a good lesson. Don't go into debt. Yeah. That'd be a good one. Lisa, thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Okay, and then we've got Bev from Manitoba, Canada. Beautiful area. Hi, Bev. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Danny.
Good. So what did you do when your income fluctuated or when you had a loss of an income?
Well, there was a lot of factors, but what we did is that my husband lost his job. He got fired, let go. I don't know how the fancy word to say it, but he got let go. And so, and then I was only working part-time 16 hours a week, so it was a struggle. And we decided to do a consumer debt proposal because I didn't want to. The biggest thing for me is we got to the end of the line where banks kept saying no, and we didn't know what to do. Wow. And we looked at each other and said, we have to just throw in the towel and just say, you know what, this is what we can do for now. And now I'm learning or we are learning and building in our relationship, as well as just focusing on getting rid of this debt and not listening to all the negative feelings that come with it by like your failure, you're never going to get ahead. And I know for me as a wife, my husband is an amazing man. Sorry, I'm going to cry now, but my husband's an amazing man. And I guess in the part of the marriage, I felt like I was the one that messed up. And so now
Why did you feel you were the one that messed up? He was the one that got fired.
I know. With the way I was paying the bills or trying to, I just felt the pressure on me, and I didn't feel that I was doing a good enough job at it. So, and that is the part of the negative that I've actually let go of when we've done the consumer proposal. That I just want to focus on us and just build each other up.
Yes.
And know that he's a great man. I don't care that he got fired. It doesn't matter. We move on from here.
Amen.
And really learn the Bible, what God's view on biblical truth about money is.
Yes.
And that's where I want to grow in and learn and just prosper in Him. And I know that He's our source.
Yes.
It's not our job. He's our source.
Yes.
I've learned that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Bev, I'm so proud of you. I really am. And you know what? I'm also proud of you for the places where you've taken personal responsibility in the relationship about how you managed the finances when the job was there. So again, listen. First of all, I understand those feelings of feeling like, man, I failed, I screwed this up. And I love what you were saying, Bev, that you've had to fight those and you've had to like take every thought captive. It's not really what you said, but it is what you said. Taking every thought captive, because when you have fallen like this, like what Lisa was talking about, what Bev was talking about, that, gosh, the rug is being pulled out from under you. And you feel like you are never going to recover from this happening. You feel like you're never going to get on top again. But you heard Lisa, it took her 5 years to pay off that debt. And if she could turn back the hands of time, she would have never gotten those credit cards. There's a lot of things she would have done differently. But part of learning finances specifically, that really the Bible shows us like crystal clear. It says that the wise man sees the trouble ahead and takes cover for it, but the foolish one doesn't and suffers from it. And then it also says in that same exact place where it says that to never be the borrower, that the borrower actually is the slave to the lender. And that is not who we are called to be. But unfortunately, we make unwise choices largely because everyone else is doing it. Instead of really looking in, what is the truth? What is the right thing to do? What is the wise thing to do? So friend, here's the deal. If you have found yourself in that situation where, you didn't realize that, incomes go like this, right? So if you right now are on top and things are going great, listen, when things are going great, it's to pull money off the table, if you will, and sock it away for when things are not great so that you can have a consistent lifestyle no matter what comes your way. Fight that stupid peer pressure, childish urge to keep up with all your friends who are acting like fools and financing cars every 2 years, getting a new one. Totally fight that urge of being the 98%er like all of your friends and all of your family that are buying new clothes every season, who are eating out 3-4 times a week, who are having new accessories, that are buying the new iPhone when it comes out, that they've got all of these luxuries trying to look like they're living like kings. And the reality is they are bond slaves. They are shackled. They've got that ring around their neck that's iron, that's chained to the ones around their hands, that is also chained to the ones around their feet. That is what is under their new clothes. That is who is driving that new car. Be wise. Be wise. And if you have found yourself that you are shackled right now and you feel the pain around your neck and you feel constricted and you feel the chest pains, you feel the anxiety every day, you feel the heaviness when you wake up, it's in your mind constantly, I'm here to tell you something. There is a way out. There is a way out. Reminds me of Tony, who now has paid off $850,000 worth of debt in 6 years. He's $20,000 away from being completely debt-free. How did he get in that much debt? Because he kept ratcheting it up. Big house after big house after big house, new car, nice clothes, all this stuff. Why? Because the income would go up, he would increase his expenses. He has now come to the fact, the truth of, I don't want to live like that, man. I don't want anything to do with that. How? He heard about this. First Steps to Wealth. It's free. It's yours. Read the first chapter, second chapter, read all 12 chapters, and watch your life change. Download it right now. Get it. 2 chapters specifically on here on about your debt. 2 chapters on how to secure yourself away from a layoff. 2 chapters in here on communicating and understanding the people that you're working with so that you can rise up. And if you find yourself jobless, there's actually a chapter in here how to interview in a different way and to set yourself apart, so different than all the other applicants, like Meryl, who was applying for a job at $35,000 a year and ended up making $125,000 hired on the spot, because he used the strategies that are inside this book. He used actually the scripting that was inside this book and got hired for a position that they actually created on the spot for him because he interviewed so profoundly. Friend, this next season of your life, if you've had the rug pulled out from under you, or if you're about to, this next season is going to be the greatest season of your life. Why? Because you're not going to be like so many of them that never learn from those mistakes and never learn how to get ahead after the mistake. You're going to learn. Therefore, you are going to have a completely different life. And I am so excited. And all I want from you is to write me about it. Just tell me about it. Come over to Facebook, tell us about it. Come and write it on our website. I want to hear about your next success. This is Danny Johnson. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DannyJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Danny Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.